Alright, welcome back everybody, and in this video what we're going to be doing is working on a ticket from Hussus, and it's related to the withdraw functionality. Basically he's saying that whenever, I'll actually go ahead and show you. So first let me go ahead and deposit, we'll do 10,000, and alright, so I'm going to deposit 10,000, save and continue, refresh, and then I can transfer it to my main account. Okay, so right now I have 9,999 coins. Now let's say I want to withdraw 1,000. Let's see what we can use in his. Okay, so he says, while withdrawing 1,000 coins, basically whenever you submit this form, you don't end up with 1,000 coins because the transfer fee is 1 coin. What you end up with in your final account, and I'll just make another account real quick, 2 zeros at the beginning. So whenever you actually make this transfer, what you end up with in your final account is 999 coins. And he is saying that a better UI would just be to say whenever withdrawing 1,000 coins, you should actually receive 1,000. So the UI can just say maybe a fee of 1 and a total of 1,001. And that way, whatever you type into withdraw, that's what you end up with in your final account. And I thought that was just a good idea. So that's what we're going to be working on. So the way that I'm going to tackle this is I'm basically just going to make the UI for it and then get the logic working, because I have a feeling we are going to need to make some updates. Yeah. Since these have a width of 260, but I want to make it a little bit more responsive as well. So anyways, we'll do that right now. So first of all, let's actually go ahead and make a branch for this so we aren't working off a master. And ticket number 69. And I'll say Hussus fee for the branch. So I'm on the front end, new branch, 69, Hussus fee branch. Okay, now let's figure out where that is. So it's in the exchange main area. Actually, it's in the wallets. So wallets, withdraw section. Okay, and close out of you for now. Standardize this panel. Interesting. Also, let me actually look at this to-do real quick. Okay. So I had a little to-do in there to standardize this panel, since you see like I have different sections here and each have this like light gray outline with some padding and rounded corners. Right now all of this is like hard-coded in a bunch of these places, but I'm actually thinking about just removing these sections since I don't think we actually need the lines. I think just the visual space will be good to have the users differentiate these different sections, but for right now, just leave that as a to-do since it's kind of out of scope for this. But let's see what we got going on here. So for withdrawing, I got the amount, the account number. Now here is where I want to put something like a fee and total. And that would go right here. All right, so first of all, where is this coming from? Okay, the error message. When there is no error message, yeah, it's still a little bit too spaced. Just getting my spacing off the bat. Yeah, so margin bottom 32 is just a bit, but yeah, we can work with that. So another thing that I want to do, and I actually thought I had this already, but apparently it was for another app, is, well, let's just make, okay, so I'm going to need a flex area because I want to have fee and then the fee on the right, and then those are going to be space between. Actually, let me see my Flexbox cheat sheet. So those are going to be, yeah, space between. So the name for this can be key value row. Yeah, let's go with that. What could a name for this be actually? Fee, total, detail row, fee row. Let me say detail row. So detail row is just going to be display flex, and then what was it? Justify content space between. Justify content space between. Okay, then I'll say, let's say the label and the value. And I'll just do something like font weight bold for now. Even though I want to standardize this with my, actually I can do it right now. So font weight comes from fonts, and let's try semi-bold. All right, so the label and then the value, and maybe it'll be better if these were spans, but let's just get it working right off the bat. So in my detail row, I have a label, and this can be like fee, and then I have a value. And this will be 1, but we'll replace that in a second with our global constant. And then this can be the total, and this will be something like 1001. So now let's see what we got. Okay, so this is why I wanted to restyle this. A couple of different things. So first of all, okay, let's start with the easy. So I'm going to change this from semi-bold to bold. And I'm also going to make a detail row container and have margin bottom 32 pixels, and I'll stick this in there. And another thing that I could do is just say get the last child of the detail row and then put a margin bottom 32 on that. It will save me an element, but I think this is all right for now. Maybe not, but we'll adjust this later. Okay, now this entire thing, it's in the form, and I'm wondering if I do width 260 pixels. Okay, so let's do this. Let's style the form to be 260 pixels. Okay. So import form, and then what we're gonna do, import form is unstyled form, and then we're gonna rename this to form, and then we're gonna say form is a styled version of our unstyled form, and then what we'll say is a width of 260 pixels. And since the detail row container is within the form, then it'll shrink to the same width as that. Now, another thing that I want to do that isn't really going to matter right now, but for these inputs, they also have a width of 260 pixels, and I want those, even though they're the same width and everything looks all right now, I want to just give those an explicit width of 100, and then I'm going to let the width of the form dictate pretty much the total width of everything. So, in that said, I am going to import my input as u input, And just like this form, EFG, HI, I'm going to say that input is a styled version of my input, except it has a width 100%. And then these inputs can be replaced with my fancy schmancy styled inputs. Okay. Now that should be the same. However, now if I go to my form and I ever want to grow it, oh yeah, look at that. If I ever want to grow it or shrink it, everything kind of sticks with it. Nice and neat. Okay. So now that that is taken care of, let's go ahead and just style this a bit more. So what I want to do here is I want to add a space in between fee and total, kind of just one of these lines right here. And I'm wondering if it's going to be easy just to literally stick a line element there. And I think it might be. And we have a line component, I believe, don't we? Yes, line. All right, so first let's stick a line there and hopefully it's close to what we want. Although I'm already thinking, yeah. All right, actually, I'm not even gonna go to this step. I'm gonna go right to styling it FGHIJKL because I know we're gonna have to add some margin around it. All right, so line is gonna go in between right here. All right, looking good so far. Now let's just get some margin around you. So I'll say margin, let's do 4 pixel 0. How's that look? Not bad, not great. Not bad though, but not great. Not bad though. And not bad, I think, is what we're looking for. All right, so we'll do, actually, maybe if we do this. Yeah, I think that looks all right. And maybe all this should be smaller too, since look at the labels here. So maybe font size 12 on the entire thing. But let's get our changes done that we just did. So this is gonna have a margin 4 pixels top and bottom, 0 left and right. And now this container is gonna have a margin bottom 24. I thought that was a little too far away from the button. And now let me just refresh this and see what we're working with. Okay, so my form changes aren't picked up. And why not? Form width 260. Well, that's interesting. Form, oh, because this isn't my styled form. There we go. Okay. So now all of this is looking right. Okay. Now I just want to go ahead and see if I can get the see if a better font size would look any better. So this all by default is 14. However, if I take this container and say, ooh, 12, that's a little bit too small. 13, that is not looking terrible. Well, let's just stick with the default of 14. Okay. All right. Now, since this is looking not half bad, what I can do from here is pretty much start building out this logic. So first of all, I'm gonna go and actually let me look and see if I have this. When I withdraw, yeah, I don't know if I have this default fee anywhere. Interesting, 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 interesting. Transaction fee. Huh. Very interesting. Okay. And now let me check out one of my other projects. So, protocol, core transaction fee. Okay. Let me just copy this. Since, yeah, this is the fee for the backend, I just thought I had a constant for it, but apparently not. So I'm just going to copy the standard from my other section. So in constants protocol, core transaction fee is 1. So I'm going to say import from constants protocol, core transaction fee, and then I can use it in place of this hard-coded value for fee right here. And also my validation. Okay. So now what I can do is this. Further, instead of, so this value is going to be a string, right? Yeah. Okay. And then this. Okay, let's give this one to ChatGPT. Okay. Instead of 1001, with the how do I say this? With the result of values amount plus core transaction fee. If there is no values dot amount, and I just want to make sure it's named correctly, values dot amount, then render hyphen. So you say then display a, just display an empty string. Then we can change it. Here's how you can replace this with values amount plus transaction fee. Okay. Okay. Runner withdraws. Pretty sure this is all the same. And then, actually, I'm wondering if we should. Yeah, I'm thinking we should split it out to a function, even if it gives us a non-function, because we're gonna need to use this in the request stat as well. Okay, so this looks correct. Just thinking if we need to split it out. Okay, so if the amount is 1000 and it is 1001, and last but not least, let me go ahead and let me make a to get total EFG. All right, so this is going to return, actually, Yeah, this can return a number, and it is going to take an amount string, which is a string, and we'll say that you will return the amount string plus the core transaction fee. Let's say return number or null. And I will say and maybe we can just use the string amount here. However, is that going to get confusing? I don't think so. Because then we can just say values.amount. Okay. So in getting the total, if there's values.amount, say get total values.amount. All right, so this should result in the same logic. Also, now what I can do is I can say to local string, and that's going to put my commas in where I want. And what's going on here? Object is possibly null. Interesting. So do I want to do that? I don't think so. So values.amount. So this is guaranteed that we have an amount. All right, so we'll say we'll call it on a number. And it's going to return a number. Okay. All right. Now, even if you have a 0, that must be greater than 1, 1, 2, space, nothing. Okay, QA session, good. So 12, total 13, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So now what's the last thing that we need to do? And that is actually get the updated amount here, which is this amount. So basically get total here. Okay. And this is going to ensure that we have it through validation. Good, 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 and submit this. Okay. So now this should all be good. Now, once I withdraw 1,000, it says fee of 1, total of 1,000. And if I just send it to the same recipient, let's see what happens. All right, so now I withdrew 1,000, and it said indeed 1,000 in the total, even though it was 1,001. We were able to communicate that information, and everything is looking aight now. Okay, so probably some styling updates that we can do, but I think, yeah, I think this is good for now. Now, before, I'm wondering if we should ask ChatGPT if there's any way to improve this. If I use that amount, if not, empty string. Yeah, I think it's good. All right, got this, my styles. Good enough for now. Got our to-do to take care of, but sorry for another day. Okay. So now let me just lint this and push it up. So npm run lint. And that looks good. So let's say this is 69. Feature of this. Push that up. And on the front end, this closes 69. And let me just look at what we changed. Added a new constant. Our styling. And all right, I think we're good. So now let's squash and merge this bad boy in. Squash and merge, and delete the branch, and delete the branch. Pretty cool song, huh? Yeah, just made it up. Believe it or not. All right. Now that is taken care of. Let me stop my server and let me pull down master and make sure everything is good to go. Is good to go. Did I pull those down? I believe so. Okay. So now, actually, let me get my phone in. Oh, here it is. So this should be good now. By the way, thank you, Hussus, for that. This app is getting better and better each day. And I wrote some things down. Component initial state use effects, add username, wallet balances. Okay. So an easy thing that we can do is add a username here. Actually, let me start writing some of these down. So pagination, empty states. Let me add on this. So set defaults for UI. I just had a little note here. And what I'm talking about in this is that you see whenever you log in and you go to your wallets or something, then even though you have wallets, you still need to select one and then click deposit before you see anything right here. However, I thought it would be a better kind of user experience if this was like pre-selected. However, I think that the logic can be pretty easy. Just in this page, we can say components can set their own initial state with the use effect. Just basically say if I have wallets in here and there's nothing here, then just set this in Redux. So I added a little note for this. I'll say using use effect, update that. Basically just converting the notes that I had on my phone since I was not near a computer last night. Okay. So another thing that I want to do is, of course, for this profile, I realized that it doesn't even have the username right here. My username is Bucky. And also another thing that I want to do is I think I want to display the wallet balances right here, which are just these balances on the user's profile. So I'll say profile UI element. Alright, my phone keeps turning off when I'm trying to write this. Okay, add username and wallet balances to profile. Add username and wallet balances to profile. New ticket, done. Okay, another thing is the ability to view other people's profile. For example, Bob is a user, but I can't click this to see his profile. So I'll say view others' profiles. No description needed. Boom, roasted. That's a ticket. Another one, cut with taxia. Social users. Okay. So another thing is that users should be taken to their profile on login. Right now it's taken to the course page. There's not really anything. This one probably isn't going to change all that often, and I don't know. Just want to make it a little bit more social rather than the feeling you come in and you look at course and it's like now what. So let me check this off. Users should be taken to their profile on login. To their profile on login. Boom, roasted. There you go. Let's see. And I want to have a feature for private messaging as well. But this is actually going to come after my social feature. Private messaging needed. Okay. Empty states, defaults for UI, pagination, profile, UI elements, view others, private messaging. I wonder if I could label this as feature. I don't have all my labels yet, but otherwise, let me just say social first and add a back end for this. And this is probably going to be the next big feature that we're going to be working on. Okay, social. So basically I want to allow it where, yeah, kind of like your, what you would imagine social feature, the ability to add posts with images optionally, and then the ability for other people to comment on those. And with that, after we have that like core social feature, then we could integrate these credits or coins, probably for like tipping people or whenever you comment on their post, or we'll figure out a way to integrate them. But for right now, I just want to get the basic functionality taken care of and then kind of worry about like I would say post MVP functionality. But either way, what I'll do is I'll just upload this video and let me think about what I'm doing next. Maybe I can get, so I'm probably going to be working, maybe I'll work on this social feature next, because even though we have a lot of little things to take care of, and you know, I don't like having this, it's not really tech debt, I would say, but these little features kind of pile up. What I also want to do is I want to build the social feature, because that's going to start like allowing people to connect and getting value out of this app. And before we make everything look pretty, we need to make sure that we're getting giving value to the users. We can actually do something, and also it's going to help get feedback, because they can like post if something's not working, and it'll really help us from there. But either way, I think that's good for this video. So yeah, probably gonna just grab a coffee and start recording the next one in just a few minutes. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in just a little bit.